haven't really done a 5-minute Friday in a long time. It's not Friday, it's Monday, but I do enjoy just being able to talk to the camera. So I'm gonna try to answer a question or two, and that's gonna be the film. Let's see, what is the best way to produce YouTube content without effort? I think the problem with this question is effort. There's always going to be effort. Maybe it's efficiency that you're looking for with maximum efficiency. Having an outline of what you want to talk about makes it a lot easier than trying to think of something right as you're looking at the camera. Like right now, I'm looking at a question and I'm answering a question, so therefore it's just me giving a response, but instead of me coming off the cusp with something. Not over complicating things. There's a lot of gear that you can get. There's a lot of things that you can purchase, but at the end of the day, it's you, the camera, and the audio, and whatever light's coming through, like that's the fundamentals. Out effort, just having probably a topic that you're going to talk about every single day, like already lined up, and I'm guilty for not doing this. I think that'll make your day probably or your month or consistently putting out content much easier. I'm a graphic designer and now I'm going to do an e-commerce site. Which skills should I choose? I would like to relate with graphic design skills. I mean, you can do both. There's no reason why you can't be a graphic designer and also be a web developer or web designer or front-end developer or back-end developer. You can do all those things, but it is interesting. I remember when I was at this path too, where I was going from being a graphic designer to being a web developer, and I had to decide which specific skills I wanted to learn first. And as a designer, you're gonna probably want to learn HTML and CSS. I know you've probably heard this a million times, basic. But after that, I'd probably learn PHP. And it may be that you can even get away with just being a web designer versus a web developer. That means maybe dealing with about 10% of the code versus 80% of the code. Where can I sign up for social media freelancing jobs? This is an interesting one because you're asking something of somebody without actually giving value first. And all this stuff comes from giving value way before you get value. So if you are consistently posting on social media that, about all the things that you're doing, your portfolio, all these different things, over the years, you're way more likely for people to kind of like reach out and be like, okay, great, this person's a good fit. On the flip side of that, there are a lot of people that are very traditional, so creating a resume that speaks to that, and then just DMing people like, look, LinkedIn is perfect for this because that platform's made for, hey, can you hire me? Or, hey, do you want to be hired type thing. But it's hard. I don't have a really good answer, but I would say this. It is always better to not need than to ask. To be in the position of not needing, most of the times that's the winning situation. What up, plane? Got like 2 more minutes on here and then I'm gonna pop off. I'm a new gaming YouTuber that screen records myself playing games with iPhone 12 Pro. Do you know of any free apps that allow me to add music to my gaming videos? Yeah. You do the screen recording and then you bring it into iMovie. iMovie is free on iPhone. That'll do the trick. Does having shit in your YouTube channel name affect your growth / impressions? Impressions basically mean recommendations. I would assume so. I don't know, but I would assume so. You're not going to adhere to as many people, but maybe what you're doing is like, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Last question. What are the best YouTube content? What are the best YouTube contents to make money? It's the same question over and over and over and over again. How can I make money fast? How can I do it fast? How can I get it? How can I get it? How can I just like cash in? And like, I get it. I get like making money, like that's dope, but like it's an investment, you know, like you are in it for the long term and it very well may not yield any sort of results. So instead of doing it only because you're trying to make money, do whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's learning, you know, how to sew or learning soccer or any of those type of things, and you want to record that, right? You want to film that, you want to share that. Do it because of you want to learn that hobby or learn that trait, learn the thing. And eventually in time, if you get good enough, people will start to come to you and ask you for the service or even ask you how to do the thing. But making money first it's okay to ask, but it's not okay to expect it. Hope that makes sense. All right, this has been a good 5-minute Monday in the new backyard. Time to just talk, chill. If you're wondering, I just have this on, I think the power generator or whatever this thing is. I should honestly know what this is, but feels good to get back. I set up a boom pole in the van. I'm going to go ahead and try to get back on the podcast game and record from there. Like, you'll see it later. All right, take care. Peace.